the, Mr. Speaker, discovery of that disease in this country is not without consequences. Mr. Speaker, there is going to be severe economic impact, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in an article that was in New York Times on March 16th, which was titled, "Coronavirus Deepens Inequality. Inequality Worsens with its Spread," the author says, Mr. Speaker, and I quote, "Economic inequality itself may be acting as a multiplier on the coronavirus spread, Mr. Speaker, and its deadliness." Mr. Speaker, we are a struggling economy to start with, a developing country, working hard to see how we can deal with our economies. If you listen to United States of America, the president is already promising, Mr. Speaker, that he's going to take care of the needy, the people who are the poor. If you see how China reacted, Mr. Speaker, even when there was a lockdown in many of the cities, especially in one province, Mr. Speaker, there was a lot of effort to ensure that people's streets are sprayed, Mr. Speaker, disinfected. People are disinfected, Mr. Speaker. A lot of effort was spent in the terms of resources, Mr. Speaker, to deal with it. I'm wondering, Mr. Speaker, if we don't prevent this issue, how best are we going to deal with economic inequalities in this country? We must think what will happen to people who live in Kibra, Mr. Speaker, who live on Mr. Speaker, daily income. They go look for jobs, Mr. Speaker, in industrial area, and if they don't get that day, they don't have a meal. Mr. Speaker, what will happen to people in Madare slums, in Mukuru kwa Njenga, Mr. Speaker, Mukuru kwa Kayaba, Mr. Speaker, and all these other people who live in places like Kawangware, who live in Kangemi, Mr. Speaker. And, Mr. Speaker, many parts of the country, especially urban areas, and particularly urban areas, because if we don't contain this disease in Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, the spread will be worse in other parts of the country. And I hope, Mr. Speaker, the Nairobi County government, the national government in Nairobi, and all actors, including ourselves in this Nairobi, are going to contribute, Mr. Speaker, to blocking this disease from spreading fast. Because if it goes to places, crowded places, Mr. Speaker, like the slums, we are going to have a big problem. But then, there must be a contingency measure by the government. Mr. Speaker, because those people live on, Mr. Speaker, daily income, daily wages that they earn from working, Mr. Speaker, as laborers in construction sites or in factories. A lot now must be taught, Mr. Speaker, how to deliver food, Mr. Speaker, to those people where they live. Mr. Speaker, it will reach a stage, and I want to say this, it will reach a stage if we don't work very hard. Mr. Speaker, if the people in Kibra will not get food, the people in Karen and Langata, Mr. Speaker, will have to share food with them, either by choice or by force. So, Mr. Speaker, a contingency measure must be applied that will ensure that everybody is taken care of without looking at whether they are rich or they are poor, Mr. Speaker, because this is going to be a challenge that we are going to deal with. Mr. Speaker, this is one area that I think as senators, we must be able to give our views to the executive, to give our views to the county government, Mr. Speaker, on how best we can be able to achieve. But most importantly, if you are a senator like ourselves, and there are people who have been working for you, either in your farm, Mr. Speaker, or in your house, or wherever you live, or your neighbors, this is the time to extend generosity, because even though we get salaries, Mr. Speaker, there are many people who get nothing. And if they are told to stay home, Mr. Speaker, they are not going to have anything to earn. So if we are able, Mr. Speaker, to continue keeping certain people in employment, even when they are not actually working in our home states or in our farms or in our companies or in our private offices, Mr. Speaker, we must work very hard to ensure that we continue supporting these issues, Mr. Speaker. Number two, the President spoke about hoarding of, Mr. Speaker, commodities and hiking prices, Mr. Speaker, of these commodities, and the panic buying that ensues, Mr. Speaker. And again, I want to quote Professor Nicole Everett, Mr. Speaker, of University of Washington, who was quoted on this matter and said, "Public health isn't just about your own personal health. It's about the health of the public at large. Therefore, if one person cannot access hand sanitizers or water or soap or basic commodities, that person is not just posing risk to himself, but posing risk to everyone, including those who have stock of sanitizers and soap in their homes and retail stores." Mr. Speaker, as even we buy and, Mr. Speaker, hoard these products, and we are the ones who are supplying them, and we are the ones who are increasing the prices. Our hand sanitizer now of our 400 ml, Mr. Speaker, which was selling the other day for 200 shillings, is selling 800. Some places even 1,000, Mr. Speaker. I want to request, and Mr. Speaker, these business people to heed the advice of the President that, Mr. Speaker, let's not increase prices. Let's not wait. It's an act of patriotism. Let's not wait, Mr. Speaker, that there must be legal enforcement. This is a time that this country must come together. Everybody who has the ability to help his neighbor. If there is a time that we must heed what Jesus told, Mr. Speaker, said in the Bible about my neighbor, Mr. Speaker, we must, Mr. Speaker, take care of that person who depends on us. Like, Mr. Speaker, that neighbor of yours whom you have a duty of care. As Lord Atkins said, Mr. Speaker, in quoting the Bible, and in that, Mr. Speaker, any person who is closer to you, that perhaps your actions, Mr. Speaker, may lead to adverse impact to that person, we must be able to extend a hand. And, Mr. Speaker, I saw in CNN a story of a buyer who bought, Mr. Speaker, goods out of panic, all the sanitizers in his community. And, Mr. Speaker, after coming back to his conscience, he decided that he was going to donate for free to as many people as possible who need it, Mr. Speaker. This is a time of patriotism. This is a time, Mr. Speaker, that we must stand together to ensure that we assist those that need our support. Mr. Speaker, our economy is going to have severe impact. In Italy, Mr. Speaker, they have made certain determinations, Mr. Speaker, that have helped, that are intended to help, Mr. Speaker, the economy. To start with, Mr. Speaker, the government must think quickly on how to grant tax breaks to companies, especially small companies, so that, Mr. Speaker, they can continue operating, employ people, and continue supporting the economy. Mr. Speaker, banks must continue giving concessionary loans at low rates to small businesses. And, Mr. Speaker, the enforcement, the forceful enforcement, Mr. Speaker, of repayment of loans could possibly have a discussion between central bank and the banks to suspend, so that, Mr. Speaker, most of these businesses that are now not operating, particularly those who are providing services, Mr. Speaker, that the service industry should be given a break so that then they can come and pay their loans later cumulatively. Mr. Speaker, we must think about how we are going to refund VATs and assist small businesses like it's been done in other parts of the world. All these efforts, Mr. Speaker, must be made to ensure that the economy continues to thrive even at this very difficult time, even as we think through how best we are coming back to continue assisting the members of public. Mr. Speaker, this pandemic, Mr. Speaker, is not easy. For all of us, Mr. Speaker, we pray that it doesn't affect all of us who are seated here, and we pray that it's minimized. The Cabinet Secretary is going to have a press conference shortly. You never know what he's going to tell the country. But, Mr. Speaker, we hope